Pepita's coming.
Ready? Sound check, let's go. Hi guys, welcome back to Bok Bok Bouquet. My name is Ricardo and this is Kelly. And if you're new to our channel, hit subscribe because we tend to upload once a week every Sunday. But we haven't uploaded anything in the last 2 weeks and we have a very good reason for that.
Do we?
Not any sort of emergency or anything, but where we live it's been horrendously super windy. And we haven't even been able to come hang out outside with our chickens. We come and do our chores like it's a hurricane.
It's crazy.
Almost. It's like it's a hurricane.
It's not this time of year. Everyone talks about kids graduating school. That's insanely windy here. And not to mention that me and him work our 9 to 5 job. And it's not even 9 to 5. Me and him work like 7 to 7, like sun up, sun down. So we try our best to...
It's just been super windy. Even right now it's windy, but it's a little bit mild. We're in the hay barn here, blocking some of the wind. But just any of our usual videos that we would record out and about, it's impossible. Even doing our regular chicken chores was a nightmare. We had to like just hurry up like there was a tornado coming. So it's just been super windy.
Let's get to the point of this video.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
And we just went to Vegas for Memorial Day weekend. We were out there for 4 or 5 days. So we were gone, but it was just extremely windy. But we're gonna get right to it. Take it away.
Okay, so we have this question asked to us many times, and we even answered it in our old frequently asked questions video. If you found us from that video, shout out. But why do you raise chickens, and who got who into chickens? Why chickens? Your nephew asked you that. Why chickens, Tia Richie? Why chickens?
Yeah, my nephews were like, "You have chickens?
I said
really?
Tia.
Why?" And I said, "Well, why not? First of all." Should I start?
Yep,
You're
I
asking
think
me?
we should start with you. Yes.
I don't think she even knows the answer. We didn't rehearse this. We went out to sushi instead. For me, she got me into chickens. She's had chickens her whole life. We've met and I knew she had chickens. I had seen them a couple times, but it wasn't until I really moved in with her right at the start of COVID. We moved in together and
the whole shutdown happened,
and she was already taking care of a few chickens.
I had my flock of chickens, which had dwindled quite a bit in numbers because of years and age, and with the shutdown happening, and there was an egg shortage, and I was like, you're not going to catch me dead at the grocery store buying a carton of eggs. Never in my entire life have I bought a carton of eggs at the grocery store. I'm not starting now. I told him that I found a listing of some chickens on Craigslist. I said I'm going to drive 40 minutes that way in the middle of nowhere in the desert. And if you ain't with me, you against me, I'm going to go buy them by myself. He's like, you're not driving in the middle of nowhere by yourself to get some chickens. What if they kidnap you? And I was like, well, then you're coming, I guess. He's like, I don't think we should have chickens. I was like, I don't care what you think. We're getting chickens. I'm not buying eggs because my chickens are old, they're not laying that much, and we need eggs. So here we are, we're off driving to the Mojave Desert.
And I still didn't want her to get any chickens because I was like, why do we want more things to take care of? At the time we already had our 2 dogs and we tend to travel a lot. Play in a band, so I'm always out playing shows.
Luckily, my parents were taking care of my small flock at that time a lot. Like, my flock had dwindled in numbers. At one point, I had like a flock of 100 chickens. The time we met, I only had about a flock of 10, but I was also a family of 1, so it was fine enough for me. But, you know, I wanted to get, it was a Rhode Island Reds and some Cinnamon Queens, so I was just going to pick up a couple. They were good layers. They said they had just begun laying, and then...
Well, we did. We got a couple.
And that was Dorothy, which you guys might know our video on her. She actually passed recently, and that was, if you look at our merch, our chicken.
Our Saint chicken. But yeah, that was like some of our favorite chickens. The Rhode Island Reds, Cinnamon Queens, Dorothy and Rhonda. And I kind of just very quickly, immediately, she likes to try to embarrass me in front of people. But when we were driving, I just looked over my shoulder at the back seat.
I picked out the 2 chickens. We put them in the back seat in a little like rabbit carrier cage, and I'm driving. He was in the passenger seat, and I don't know. I heard him say, "Oh my God, look!" I turn. He's like, "They're sleeping. They're closing their little eyes."
I thought it was really cute, almost like little puppies when they're falling asleep, and because you know they were skittish. They were all afraid when we were picking them out. But once they were in the seat with us in the back, they started closing their eyes. Like they got really cozy and relaxed.
And he said, "What should we name them?"
And I just thought it was like really cute. And I was like, oh my God, look, I love them already.
Without
like,
skipping a beat, he said, "That's Dorothy and Rhonda."
I just kind of thought of like some silly like old-timey woman names for
and that's
them,
when
so
I knew he was
Dorothy
the one, guys. That's when I knew he was the one.
You knew before that.
And then I super knew. Because he shared my passion for chickens, and
Well, just yeah, immediately I just fell in love with them, and then we brought them home, and then just feeding them out of your own hand, and just getting really close in that bond that you.
So he'd never seen a chicken
chickens.
before. He'd been like a city guy. He'd never known what it was like to be around chickens. So that's what's so beautiful about it, is if you've never raised chickens before, like, you see what they are and you're like, wow, they are cool pets. And polar opposite for me, I was born and raised on a chicken farm. So for me, I never knew life without chickens, and I always eternally loved them. And that's why I was so happy that he felt that connection too instantly, because for me it was like I couldn't see my life without chickens. I would never buy eggs, and even besides that, I had always been a crazy bird lady. I also had a parrot like as a pet growing up, and I just feel this connection to birds. Like, I just love chickens. Like, that I used to have one on my shoulder. Her name was Chicky. I was the first thing that she saw when she was born, and this little baby chick followed me everywhere, and she was my buddy, and I always just had this deep connection to birds. Like, life without chickens, I never want to have it. Like,
Yeah, and same with me. Like, I didn't think I was gonna like them as much as I do, but no matter where we move or something, like, I would always like to have chickens around. They're just
so
really
happy
silly.
to hear that.
They make me smile, and they just kind of make my day. Since I complain about having to do their chores when it's 100+ degrees outside or freezing temperatures, but they really
so
do make me happy.
worth
I come
it.
out in the morning, let them out, and they're always excited to see you because they want their snack. I think you kind of buy their love though, but they know me as the snack man, so they always come running up to me, super excited. And like I said, now they'll eat straight out of my hand. If I give them a treat, they eat it right out of my hand. They'll jump on our lap. They fall asleep on my lap. If I'm holding one, petting them, you start rubbing their wattles. They all have their name, and they'll start falling asleep in my arms. And I just think
And all the
they're
individual
really cool pets.
personality. Like, some are more friendly than others, some are more like cats, and some are like dogs, where we scream their name and they start screaming back at us like, ah, and they start running to us like they want their love. Like, chickens are just the best.
Yeah,
They're
and
just the best.
we've had people visit, and they always like coming over and seeing all our chickens when some of our friends
A lot
come
of them
over.
have no idea how much personality they really have, and how friendly they can be, and how much they are like dogs. And what other pet out there can make their own money? Like, our dogs, they cost so much money buying their dog food. Our chickens, they pay their own wage. Like, they lay so many eggs, we eat them, and we sell their eggs to our friends and family, and they buy their own treats. They buy
Yeah, for a while
they
they're buying their own feed, so it's like they're paying rent.
Yeah.
But- and it's not even that we have an egg selling business, but we just get so many that our friends and family, they'll come over and they say, hey, let me go 2 or 3 dozen, and just our friends buy them, and with that money we used to go and take it and buy their feed. So, and that's pretty cool. But Kelly, she's the chicken expert. She's never not had chickens her whole life since she was born.
I grew up raising them. I grew up with all tribulations and tribulations. I remember knowing that the mean rooster was my dad's favorite rooster, so I would go into the coop and have to look out for him, and I'd be kneeling down like 5 years old collecting the eggs, and I'd feel something jump on my shoulder and bite my ear, and I still love them anyway. Like, I had my chickens that would follow me everywhere. I'd be carrying my favorite girls, and the rooster would chase me because he didn't like me carrying his favorite girls. And being a kid raised around animals, you also learn how to behave correctly around animals, because I think that some kids like don't really know how to behave, and then when you're raised around animals, you know how to respect them and give them their personal space, and how you should act, and like treat the animal as just, and be gentle with them. And I think it's a great thing to raise. I would love for us someday to have our kids also raised around animals and learn to respect and treat them, and just know how it goes growing up, and know where your food comes from as well too. It's very
And
important.
that's if you're gonna eat them. We don't raise our own meat, but
Even eggs.
if we do,
Eggs, yeah.
great for you. But
I grew
yeah.
up raising our own meat with chickens. Nowadays, we don't really eat chicken anymore, because I feel like I don't want to support factory farms. That's not for me. Like, I want to know where my food comes from. I like to raise my own food, and because we're not raising it, like, we eat eggs, but we're not raising chicken right now, so it's just not in
We
our
tend to
cards.
eat vegetarian most of the time anyway. So.
Yeah, we just love.
But even some of our
Indian
hardcore,
food, we
I was
eat a
gonna
lot.
say, even some of our hardcore vegan friends, they're starting to turn. They come and see how we raise our chickens, and
We sell a lot
some
of
of
eggs
them
to vegans
have been
already.
buying our eggs, and they said we hadn't bought eggs in a long time, but I see how well you guys raise your own chickens that I feel okay buying eggs when they're given a good life and not
Our
locked
chickens
up in
have
a
the
cage
best
and all
life.
that.
They're treated so good, and we feel zero guilt in eating their eggs.
Right now we're in the cage. Right now we're in the hay barn because it's so windy out. But we're in a couple acres and they're just running around freely everywhere right now.
Some
you
are
see me
talking
looking
to us
down
right
here.
here.
I'm looking because they're just sitting right here. But we're in the cage at the moment. But yeah, anything else you might want to add? 4-H, showing chickens and goats.
Oh yeah,
and all
I mean,
that?
I used to show chickens like professionally, do showmanship and stuff, but I don't do that anymore. Nowadays, it's just all pets and eggs for me. But there are many different ways you can venture down like a road with chickens. You can enter in professional shows. You can have the standard of perfection breeding champion. There's so much like you can do in this industry, and it's all beautiful as long as like there's a chicken in your backyard living their best life and they're not sitting in some cage in some factory farm. Then that's a chicken that lived a better life.
Oh, yeah.
Like it kills me to see these chickens like live. I would love someday for when we buy our own property to be able to rescue these battery hens and be able to like give these poor animals a better life, because I would love for there to be a day someday where there's no chickens in a factory farm and they're all living their best life in backyards or
not to get
in
all
Hawaii.
super deep, but yeah, these chickens at factory farms, they never see sunlight, they never scratch dirt,
Some
they never
have their
see
beaks
grass.
cut off, and they're too smart. They're like dogs. They shouldn't be living this way. They really shouldn't. They're highly intelligent creatures with a complex social structure, and they're literally descended from dinosaurs. They shouldn't live that way. No.
So if we're giving a chicken any sort of life besides that one, we feel great. And I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
More people.
They make me really
More
happy
people
anyway.
raise chickens, and that means more people not buying eggs from factory farms. More people buying eggs from their neighbors, from their family. Less supporting that. That's good.
Let's normalize having chickens as pets, because if you're a dog person or a cat person, you're gonna love chickens. That's just it.
You hear your neighbor's
Be
dog
ready.
barking next door. Who cares if it's like rooster crowing? Like to me, I'm like, the dog's more annoying.
Yeah,
actually.
rooster crowing, no biggie, no
Yeah.
problem. But yeah, like they're very intimate pets, and like I said, if you're a animal lover, you're gonna love chickens. Let's just face
They will
it. If
steal
you go to
your
the store and
heart.
you say, I'm gonna just start with 2 or 3, you're gonna have a dozen, because you're gonna love them. And if you have the space and the ability to raise them and all that, you're gonna love them.
They're gonna completely steal your hearts.
You're
Yeah.
in for a ride, and
That's why they call it chicken math, because you start with 3, you end up with 5, then you end up with 15, then you end up with 20. They're just addicting. They're just the lovable, adorable creatures that want their snuggles and rub their little beards, and like they're softer than like fur. Like you will love raising chickens. Yes, they take work. Don't expect for it to be like super easy. Anything takes work. Buying eggs at the grocery store is a lot easier than paying for chicken feed, cleaning out their chicken coop, cleaning their chicken yard, making sure they're not bullying each other and they're not like. Yes, raising chickens comes with some responsibility.
But it's not always super hard either. Like to
Yeah.
me, I'm speaking for myself, but it's almost easier to raise chickens than a dog. Like as long as you have food, shelter for them, and water, they do their own thing. They
The
put
food and
themselves
water
away
is
to bed.
gravity fed, so you don't need to refill it every day. But you do need to check on them daily. I
Yeah.
think you do, because you need to make sure that they're safe from predators, that they got there's no accidents. Somebody like, if anybody's chicken accident prone, it's a chicken. Like they might be like stuck in something. You need to check on your animals daily, no matter what kind
But generally
of animal.
speaking, though, they're pretty easy, and it can be expensive, but it doesn't have to be expensive.
Yeah.
You can go with a nice fancy coop, like maybe the ones I built. They're not the cheapest thing in the world, but you don't need one of those. You could just have some sort of shelter for them. It doesn't have to be expensive. You want to go above and beyond and
Found
get fancy,
pallets,
of course.
reclaim wood. Like you can make any sort of
You can
structure,
makeshift
but-
something. You know, people keep them in other countries where it's very minimal shelter, but anything could work.
Yeah.
So it can be expensive, but on the other side of the coin, it could also just be very inexpensive, sometimes free.
I think this video is longer than we intended it
Yes,
to be.
so let's end it right now. Hopefully that answered your little stupid, not your stupid question, but hopefully that answered your little question, and we stupidly dragged it out.
Yeah, that's what it is. We made it stupid.
We don't rehearse.
Yeah,
We just
yeah.
hit record, and I thought I was gonna take several different takes. We took
If you
one.
want to talk to us about anything, we'll talk too long about anything. It's chickens.
But yes, let's end it right now.
Yeah, okay.
We're gonna promote our,
Okay.
one of our previous videos by clicking the link up here.
Yeah.
And stay tuned. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video, and we'll catch you guys next week. Hopefully, we do keep uploading every Sunday. So thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you
Till
so
next
much
time.
for joining us. Like this video. Thanks. Bye.